first postpartum update. Here is Milo Augustus Gonzalez. He is 12 days old, and we had a very, very rough start. It was really scary. I'm going to go into a little bit about what happened, how he was born, but there'll definitely be more detail once we get that birth vlog made. It's going to take a while, but we will make it. So, on Tuesday, October 27th, I came home after working all day, and I was laying down in bed trying to take a nap. I was really tired. I didn't sleep very good the night before, and I just was not able to fall asleep. I just felt really kind of terrible, and I felt off, and my swelling just had gotten out of control. So I went ahead and took my blood pressure, and it was 158/109. So that was really high. I called my midwife, and she said, go ahead and head to the hospital, have them check you out, and, go with the intention of possibly not leaving. So we, our bags were already packed, we put them in the car, and we headed down to the hospital. At that point, I still didn't think we'd be staying, but sure enough, we got there, ran some tests, my blood pressure wasn't going down, my kidney function wasn't great, and it was ruled that I did have preeclampsia. So they went ahead and started the induction process. It was very, very slow going. They had me on something called magnesium to help with the preeclampsia. It was to help prevent seizures and also lower my blood pressure. That's also a drug that they give women to help stop labor. So my body was trying to be forced into labor with Pitocin. Meanwhile, I was on a magnesium drip, and the two were fighting against each other. I was on the highest dose of Pitocin they could possibly give you, and it still took me about 36 hours to dilate to a 10, possibly even more. I pushed for 5 hours, and finally I agreed to an episiotomy to get him out because I could not push anymore. And so at 5:05 p.m. on October 29th, about 48 hours after we had gotten to the hospital, Milo was born, and he came out with the cord wrapped around his neck 3 times. The doctor that delivered him said in her 25 years it was the tightest she had ever seen a cord wrapped around a baby's neck. When he came out, they put him on me for a second briefly, but it was only for a second, and they called a code pink, and everyone came rushing in. They were trying to get my baby to breathe, and he wasn't. I just saw him laying there, floppy, and the first thought I had was, my baby's gonna die, and it was very, very, very traumatic. So they rushed him off to the NICU. My husband went with him. I wasn't sure what was going on. I didn't know if he was alive. I didn't know anything. And the placenta wouldn't come out. So I'm laying there. The doctor's stitching up the episiotomy. The placenta's not coming out. I'd been there for a while. So then the doctor had to help get the placenta out. And then I started hemorrhaging. And I lost about half my blood. I lost a lot of blood. And the doctor said the only reason why I survived that much blood loss is because I was so swollen, and the tissue, or the fluid in my tissue, helped contract the veins. I'm not exactly sure how that all works, but somehow the swelling saved my life because I lost so much blood. So that was really scary. Milo spent 4 days in the NICU. He was taken off. He was intubated, and he was at 13 hours old taken off of that and was breathing on his own. And I continued to monitor him. He wasn't really eating very well, so he was on IV fluids to, for nutrition. His platelet count was down. His bilirubin was a little bit high, but he definitely recovered very quickly for the kind of start he had in life and for not breathing when he was born. And now he's perfectly fine now. So he was born at 6 pounds 11 ounces and 19 inches long. So he's just a little guy with all kinds of hair. I thought I'd have a bald little chubby baby, and I have this skinny little short hairy headed boy that I'm so in love with. So we thought we were all good. The baby was getting better. I was discharged on Saturday night. It was very hard to leave the hospital without my baby. I was going back like every 3 hours to feed him. And it was really hard, really stressful, very emotional. And then, so I stayed one night at home. The next day I woke up not feeling very well. And throughout the day just kind of progressively felt weaker, and then my heart started racing just super fast. I could just hear it pounding and feel it beating so fast. And I took my blood pressure and it was high again. So we called and they told me to come into the ER. And again, I went into the ER not thinking I was going to be readmitted, but I was. And the preeclampsia had not gone away. It's still lingering. And they also found a blood clot in my lung, which is really scary. I had to have a CT, something I never thought I'd have to have in my life. So I was readmitted into the hospital, put on blood thinners and blood pressure medication, and I was there for 2 days. The last day that I was there, he actually was released from the NICU and was able to come stay with me in my room. And then finally on last Tuesday night, we both were released and came home. And it's been really rough for me emotionally and physically. I also ended up getting a blood transfusion because my blood levels, the hematocrit and the hemoglobin, I don't know, there's all these words, I'm not even sure. Anyways, basically my blood was still very low and was actually continuing to drop. So I had a blood transfusion as well. And it was actually during the blood transfusion, I was pumping and my milk had finally come in, which was a very, very happy moment. So it's been rough. I still have a long road to recovery. The baby is fine. He has a few extra doctor appointments just for some close monitoring. But it's really me that's kind of still on the road to recovery. I have to give myself shots twice a day in the stomach, which is not fun. And, I get really tired and weak. I definitely have a lot of emotional stuff to work through. I'm going to the hospital for appointments every few days to check different blood levels, and the blood pressure medication or the blood thinner medication I'm on is very sensitive to, your activity level, your diet, different factors like that. They have to constantly monitor to make sure that you are on the right dose and that you stay within your therapeutic range. So the first time I had to go back to the hospital after being released, I had a little bit of a panic attack, just because the worst things that have ever happened to me in my life happened to me at that hospital. And going back for the first time was really hard. Every day I'm getting a little bit better. It's definitely hard to sleep, but it's getting better every day. I just get worried about him and I get worried about myself. Every little symptom that I feel, or if he's breathing funny, I just start to kind of panic. And so it's been a lot. It's been really, really hard. I'm so happy he's here. So that's a little bit of the story, but on to more of the actual postpartum stuff. So it's obviously not just a regular postpartum recovery. I am recovering from a lot of different things. A huge amount of blood loss, preeclampsia, a blood clot, an episiotomy, the trauma of being admitted and readmitted to the hospital, the trauma of having my baby in the NICU, of thinking that he wasn't going to make it, of thinking I wasn't going to make it. A lot to deal with and process. But we are doing better, aren't we, Milo? As far as breastfeeding goes, we are breastfeeding, and it's going pretty good. He is gaining weight, which is a good thing. He left the hospital, or last Monday, he weighed 6 pounds, 5 ounces. And now today, 8 days later, he weighs 6 pounds, 15 ounces. So he's gained 10 ounces in 8 days. So the breast milk is working. He's gaining weight, he's growing, which is good. Because the first few days of eating, he didn't do very good. So he's definitely doing better. His mouth is very small and tight. So his latch sometimes isn't super great, but we're working on that. And he doesn't like to nurse for a super long amount of time. I think I have a very fast letdown, so I think he gets a lot fast. So we're still learning, and it's definitely harder than I thought it would be, but we're gonna get there, I pump once a day for like 10 minutes, and I get like 6 or 7 ounces. It's crazy. I know if I pumped longer or more often, I would just get a ton of milk. I have so much milk, which is great, because the first 3 days I didn't really have any milk, and I was worried. As far as weight loss, I am down 31 pounds. After the swelling went down, the weight started dropping off really quickly, which just goes to show that I really did have a lot of water weight. A lot. I will show you the postpartum belly. So this is 12 days postpartum. Let me put him down. Hi, little guy. 12 days postpartum. All the little marks you see are where I have had to give myself shots. And now that I'm not pregnant, the stretch marks actually look worse. But here we go. This is from the front and side. It's weird. Definitely going down pretty good. So you can see all the dots for the shots, and then the stretch marks down there. But I feel like it's going down pretty quickly. I'm happy with that. This little guy is definitely worth everything I've been through. But I can say we are rethinking having more children. The doctors are not very optimistic about this not happening again. I mean, it's possible that I wouldn't get preeclampsia again. They say I am at a higher risk of getting it, and getting it even sooner in the pregnancy. I'm at a higher risk for the blood clots. So I just know that I can never go through something like this again. It has just about ruined me. So our little Milo is enough. And he has 3 sisters and a brother. So we have 5 beautiful children, and we are more than happy with that, So here he is. You want to do a close shot? Oh, you're gonna do mad face. Squishy little baby. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being patient. We've been through a lot, so we did not mean to take such a long break from YouTube. It just kind of happened that way. But we are excited to share with you all the details and continue to do updates. So Thank you for being patient. Thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and you will be seeing much more of Milo. Bye.